with details on The Rock not appearing at WrestleMania and more. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. On Rene Dupree's podcast, Jason Sensation talked about thinking he had heat with The Undertaker, saying, "Undertaker, he was a great. He was really nice to me when my last party with WWF after WrestleMania 18. I thought he always had heat with me. He'd always mess with me. He came and sat down with me and he told me that I was his favorite impersonator and all of these nice things he had said to me. And he's like, I don't even know you're done with the company, man. I wish you all the best." Like, he sent me off and he was like, "You're good, kid. You got some kind of future. Something is gonna happen for you." And we had a beer together and it was really nice. He gave me a really nice send-off when, I was kind of afraid of him for most of the time I was backstage, knowing him as the leader. Speaking about MLW's deal with Reelz, owner of the promotion, Court Bauer, said on Busted Open Radio, "We are really pumped and they're really supportive. These guys are all about it. They were tracking us even as far back as when we were on Vice." Best known for hit cable show On Patrol Live, Reelz ranks in the top 30 networks each week. Just to give the people kind of perspective, USA and TNT/TBS, they'll hoover around that number 11 to 14 mark in the rankings. Axis is like 98 to 99 and Vice is like 77, and BN was ranked 127, so we leaped literally 100 channels. Talking about a cross-promotional event between WWE and AEW, New Japan star Okada told Tokyo Sports, "It would be interesting to have a Wrestling World Cup. It would be fun to have a big event on a global scale. We'd have a tag team of Okada and Nakamura or Naito to fight for their country. If necessary, I will go see Tony Khan and Triple H." Touching on potentially competing in the Men's Royal Rumble, Rhea Ripley told WrestleBinge that, "I would most definitely love to enter the Men's Royal Rumble. I would love to. It'll be a lot of fun. It's a history-making thing, especially having someone like Beth Phoenix, whom I looked up to as a kid. I loved her. I related to her body-wise. So just trying to fill the shoes of someone like Beth Phoenix and help this women's evolution. I do believe that I would love to step into the Men's Royal Rumble. I think it'll be a lot of fun." On the Bootleg Kev podcast, AEW TBS champion Jade Cargill talked about advice she got from a WWE Hall of Famer, saying, "I think the experience I got at the trial gave me a lot of insights. Mark Henry gave me a lot of advice like, go up to people, ask for advice, be kind, ask what you can do, clean up after, shake everybody's hand. When they talk, you shut up. I understood that from playing basketball and having someone take lead, and I think that me being an athlete prior helped me in so many different ways and directions with respect, and just being able to go out there and dominate in the ways that I have. When I came into AEW and won the belt, I don't think anybody would have liked that. I just came in out of nowhere. These other girls have been grinding on the indies for years. They have a fan base. They've given a lot of their time and work and all this kind of body to this sport, and here I am coming in and I look good. It's like, all right, you're being shot to the top right now, but at the end of the day, yeah, people can say it and feel the way they feel. But that's a lot on my shoulder now, because I've been given a belt and I've been put in a position that, let's be real, I wasn't ready for, but I know I have to step in these shoes and have to go out there and act like everything's okay and mentally clear my head, focus, and try to do the best I can. I think I'm doing perfectly fine regardless of how anybody felt in the locker room. The only person I care about pleasing is Tony Khan. That's it. Hey boss, you like what you see? Great. Hey boss, what you want? That's all that matters. When it came to an appearance for a current WWE star at New Japan's recent Wrestle Kingdom event, it was reported that AJ Styles has been sidelined with a broken ankle, but there were rumors prior to his injury that he could have appeared at Wrestle Kingdom 17 with Carl Anderson. Styles was not present, but Doc Gallows also didn't make the trip, which we've been told was a New Japan Pro Wrestling call. However, there were some talks about AJ Styles coming over. Rocky Romero tells Fightful's Wrestling Perspective podcast that AJ Styles himself thought it it would be a cool idea. Romero said he believed if it were up to Styles, he might have been there. It ended up being a moot point as Styles broke his ankle the week before and hasn't traveled or been on WWE TV. That ended all possibilities. Romero made sure to specify that there were never any official plans for it to happen. Talking about WWE's version of ECW that spawned in 2006, Rob Van Dam blamed Vince McMahon for trying to tarnish the legacy of the brand. So at the time, I really looked at it defensively from ECW. You know, I thought he's making a mockery of ECW. I thought he might have even brought ECW back just to destroy it, because he didn't like the fans chanting EC Dub. He took credit for it, so he trained them to chant EC Dub during the shows by putting out the ECW DVD. Then I was like, wow, man, this dude's crazy. Maybe he brought it back just to completely wipe out the Extreme theme to it. And they did completely wipe out the Extreme theme to it. So it was like, you know, just like any other show, except they put way less into it. Way less budget, way less advertising. The house shows at that time, you know, were just the old ECW crappy arenas from the mid-90s. We would sometimes film after Smackdown on the Smackdown night, and there was some kind of weird way that we were getting paid off a split of their gate, which really wasn't fair. In the end, you know, supposedly all the numbers ironed out, whatever. On his podcast, Rene Dupree alleged that Stephanie McMahon had issues with Paul Heyman in WWE, as he said, "I know she didn't like Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman didn't like her." Yeah, he was very vocal about the fact that they didn't like each other. But if I were to pick one, I'd pick Stephanie over Paul. Despite Dupree's words, Paul Heyman had previously said this to out of character about Stephanie. Stephanie McMahon, because she's very real out there. She's authentic. Whether she knows what you're going to say or not know what you're going to say, she's 3 steps ahead at all times. If you're not 4 steps ahead, you were playing catch up with her. She's so invested in the character. Just the little nuances that she does. The way she can sit there and stare you down and hold back the smile, but the smile starts to break through. A very underrated performer and an interesting, intriguing, challenging person to stand across the ring with. With microphones in your hand, it can go different ways really quickly. Revealing if there had been conversations between AAA and WWE with Triple H in charge of creative, Konnan told Wrestling Inc. No, I've never talked to Hunter personally, but through other channels. There's been an interest in doing something. Now, this is very telling. For around, I'm not kidding, 15 years plus, I would ask Rey Mysterio, almost like Charlie Brown and Lucy with the football every year, I would ask Rey to ask Vince McMahon if he could send a promo for our Triple Mania show or show up. And the answer was always no. And this last year, which was a special year, 30 years, and I was getting an award in Tijuana, the promotion that discovered Rey in the city that he first trained, in the city where he lives and represents, for the guy that's his best friend, and the answer was still no. And I was like, MFer, how does this in any way hurt you? He only asked Levesque once. Levesque said yes. He sent the video to open up Triple Mania this year, and bro, it was a humongous pop. The second thing, Hunter sent a Spanish digital crew and film cameras to record when Dragon Lee, which is Rush's brother, who's a hell of a talent, he's going to kill it in NXT, when Dragon Lee announced that he was going to WWE, that had never been done before. Hunter gets it. He gets that you got to play with others and have relationships where Vince was like an island unto himself and didn't play well with others. In an update on the late Jay Briscoe's daughters, they are recovering well from the car accident, as F4W Online wrote. The news was relayed through 2 representatives of a local nonprofit that is working with the Pugh family during this time, the video of which can be seen below. After what was described as a tough night with some tingling and itching in her lower legs, Gracie, the Pugh's 12-year-old, regained feeling in her lower extremities after not having any feeling below the thighs a day prior. When it comes to the recent firings of 2 VPs of communications, Fightful reported that the WWE office cuts were a big topic of conversation backstage. Several were very surprised that longtime WWE PR employee Adam Hopkins was gone. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer talked about Vince McMahon settling a lawsuit with former WWE referee Rita Chatterton and what could come going forward for other settlements. The other one with the spa manager in Florida. It was another threatened lawsuit, and I don't see Vince going to court with anyone at this point. I just don't see it. I think that if anyone has anything close to a case, then he's settling it. As we've been seeing, he's been settling. He's settled almost everything now. When it comes to details on The Rock reportedly telling WWE he won't be in ring shape for a match against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39, Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio, anything is possible, and it's certainly possible he could be keeping everything a secret from all by one or two people, but the word is that he doesn't have the time to get in the shape. All along, if he has the time to do it, he will do it. Put it this way, most are of the opinion that it's not happening, and it's been for months. Those on the inside thought the odds were not good based on that thing because his schedule. There's no such thing as 100% because it's a very secretive business. Within the company, it's not looking good. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.